When we want to retrieve something from memory, we need to retrieve that memory, which is held in storage by a web of associations. So pieces of information that are interconnected to each other. When we encode our memories, we encode other bits of information, which can act as retrieval cues. For example, if we have a memory of rollerblading with our friends, we might be better able to retrieve that memory when we hear a song that was played at the rink. The more retrieval cues you have, the better chance of being able to retrieve a memory. The best retrieval cues come from associations we form at the time we encode a memory, such as smells, tastes, and sights that evoke our memory of the person or event. Sometimes associations are activated without our awareness. This is called priming, and we essentially wake up our associations. If I say the word rabbit and then ask you to spell the word hare, you're more likely to spell the word H-A-R-E instead of H-A-I-R due to priming. Priming can change our behavior. For example, if I was to prime you with money-related words and materials, you may be more likely to act more materialistic or self-interested. Putting yourself back in the context where you earlier experienced something can prime your memory retrieval. Remembering, in many ways, depends on our environment. Whenever I visit Clark Planetarium in Salt Lake, I can more easily conjure up memories of my childhood because my parents took me there a ton as a kid. I can remember buying mood rings, the old exhibits they had, and the birthday party I once had there. These memories rarely come to mind unless I'm at the planetarium again. Sometimes context-dependent memory can lead to some confusion for us. If you run into your old boss at a basketball game, you might struggle to recognize it's your boss. Because of this new setting, you may be missing some memory cues needed for speedy recognition. The encoding specificity principle says that cues and context specific to a particular memory will be most effective in helping us recall it. Having these cues removed makes it more difficult to conjure up these memories. State-dependent memory says that what we learn in one state may be more easily recalled when we are in that state again. So, if you're usually drunk while you study, you should also be drunk when you take your test. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Please don't show up to your exams drunk. Also, alcohol disrupts memory storage, so this really isn't a good study strategy. Okay, so alcohol and drugs can be one way of altering your state of mind, but another one is moods. Emotions that accompany good or bad events become retrieval cues. Our memories are somewhat mood congruent, meaning we tend to recall experiences that are consistent with one's current good or bad mood. So, for example, today it was super icy at my house, and I fell, not once, but twice, during my 10-foot walk to my car. Usually I'm in a pretty good mood, but this made me so annoyed. Suddenly I was thinking about how I didn't want to go to class, how I was sick of winter, and how now I probably had a busted up wrist to go along with the busted up knee that I have thanks to taking up snowboarding one winter. Also, if you're wondering, the busted up knee convinced me that snowboarding wasn't for me. So I haven't been on the slopes since 2015. This bad mood that I was suddenly in was making it easier for me to remember other negative memories associated with wintertime. State-dependent memory is a powerful thing and can even affect our relationships. One study found that when teens were down, they viewed their parents as cruel. Yet, when they were in a good mood, they viewed their parents in a positive light. State-dependent memory can work in a cycle. So if we're in a good mood and we recall good memories, then we stay in a good mood for longer. If we're in a bad mood and we recall bad memories, we can stay in a bad mood for longer. I'm going to show you 15 words. I want you to pay attention to these words and try to memorize them. After I present you with these words, I'm going to ask you to recall them. Ready? Let's go. Now pause this video and write down as many words as you can remember. Return once you're done. Okay, so here are all the words I presented to you in the order that they appeared. Look at your list and compare it to mine. Do you notice anything interesting about the words you recalled? You likely recalled more words from the beginning of the list and the end of the list, and fewer words that are in the middle of the list. Why might this be? The serial position effect explains why we may have large holes in our memory of a list of recent events. This is our tendency to recall the last and first items on a list. You can recall the last items like cat and paper quickly and well due to the recency effect. These words were still in your working memory. You were also more likely to recall words like oven and king due to the primacy effect.